I'm Mr. Over. Let's talk. Back in the day, memorization was very important. But today, it's about obtaining a certain set of skills to allow a student to apply and analyze new situations. Back in the day, students would use tables and arithmetic, long division, long multiplication. Today, I rather have students focus on new concepts and developing their understanding of those things. And because of that, I allow calculators to be used. Back in the day, students were admonished to shut up and listen and just to write down whatever was written on the board. In my classes, I prefer students pause frequently to reflect on the things that are being discussed. Back then, students usually worked alone, and it was by your merits and by your sweat that you succeeded. Even though this is still necessary on a student's part, today it is strongly encouraged that students work with others, otherwise they may not succeed. They should do so in a collaborative spirit. Back in the day, practice was mechanical, drill and kill. Today, situations vary, life varies, and so students will be required to apply skills to new and different situations. Back then, it was all about spitting out facts. Today, it's about understanding. Back in the day, it used to be about grades, and I know what you're thinking, but it needs to be about understanding. Back in the day, it's about getting to university, and it still is. But may I propose to you, it's about keeping them in university. And how do you do that? Understanding. Back in the day, maybe barely yesterday, you used to say, "Why don't you have an A, mijo? Why do you have a B in this class, mija? Why are you not doing good in this class? Why don't you have an A?" And what it needs to be from here on out is this. Tell me, what did you learn in class today? What do you understand about the material you're studying? Back in the day, you used to only care about grades when a report card came out or a teacher emailed you. But now, starting today, I want you to regularly find out from your student what he or she learned. Encourage and value understanding. I took physics as a 16-year-old at Antelope Valley College. I was an A student, whatever that means. Within the first month of physics, I had a D in the class. The teacher did teach, but it was very traditional teaching and 100% teacher lecture, and it wasn't working. What had always worked for me was no longer working at all. I had to change things up. I spent a whole week devouring the examples in the book, doing my best to understand what they did and why. Then I struggled with every odd problem until I got the answers in the back of the book. Then I conquered every even problem, and then I helped others struggling and engage in talking and using the vocabulary of physics. And I understood the material. And you know what my grade was at the end of the class, but that doesn't matter because a grade is a reflection of my ability to perform because of the understanding that I possess. To be successful in this class, students need to value understanding. They need to talk physics, engage in class, and practice using these words in the correct context. They need to work with others. I have had too many students, for various reasons, work alone the whole year. None have been successful. Collaboration does not mean academic dishonesty, and the distinctions are frequently brought up in class. Yes, grades get students into university. Understanding keeps them there. As a professor of mathematics, physics, and engineering, I asked my college students how many of them originally went to a four-year university right after graduating high school. And then I asked what high schools they went to. It's not an isolated issue. In most cases, the story goes something like this. I went and couldn't handle the workload. I didn't know how to learn, didn't understand the class or the professors, got into student debt. I failed my classes or dropped them, and after a year, I was on academic probation and was sent to community college to pick up my grades. So I'm thinking about changing my major now because I might not qualify for my original program and more because of my bad grades. Look how much hurt happened because of the focus on grades rather than on understanding. I want your student to be successful. If we change our mentality to reflect and value understanding, imagine the places that your student will go. Why is my child taking physics as a freshman? Too many reasons. It is a research based movement that began in the 1990s and was championed by an award winning physicist. How many freshmen have witnessed endoplasmic reticulum, full proteins made by ribosomes to transport them to the Golgi apparatus? Or what relationship have they formed with cellular division or aerobic cellular respiration and other biology topics? But then consider how much experience they've had being in the car and their body going right while the car is being turned left. Or consider the experience they've had observing clothing in a washing machine. Freshmen have more personal and relatable experience with physics already. Physics doubles up as an algebra support class incognito, as we solve algebraic equations, work with graphs, word problems, slope, and area. Physics explains the fundamental energy relations that will be discussed in chemistry and biology and allow those teachers to reach deeper into the physics and the explanations. Physics also necessitates an early dependence on understanding, which is a skill further appreciated when it's developed earlier rather than later. Teaching physics to freshmen is a grand opportunity and a rare one. Very few districts and schools in the nation have been able to successfully pull it off. This is our second year offering it here at SOAR. Our first year met with some great success.
Hi, I'm Koji. I was in physics last year. Physics, it's a really great class, and although some people think that it's unnecessary for freshmen to learn, it builds much of the skills and knowledge needed for the preceding sciences and math. We learn about topics like the conversion of units, Newton's laws, kinematics, heat, and electricity, and more. And having basic understanding of these sets up freshmen for the upcoming years. Overall, I thought it was a great class. Even if it was hard, I had a lot of fun. And the main fun of it was being able to use science to solve physical problems.
One of the main things I gained from taking physics in freshman year was just being able to get a really good sense of the basics when it comes to science, such as unit conversion and a bunch of other cool stuff. So it maybe seem daunting at first, but taking physics in your freshman year could really set a path for your child's future, and it's super cool and they might like it.
By taking physics, I think that I've had a better grasp of concepts in both my math classes and now in the chemistry class I'm taking.
A quick shout out to my Trig pre-calculus peeps. We are in the process of securing dual enrollment credit for your students. As an AVC adjunct in math, I have taught math classes at the college comparable to what your student is receiving from me here at SOAR. It is our hope that we will be able to make arrangements with AVC to allow for your students to receive AVC credit for Math 135 and Math 140. My focus is to help your student understand mathematics at this level with the foresight that your student will be taking advanced mathematics classes in the future. Everything I said about physics holds true for your student in math. Understanding is key, and the advice and strategies given will serve your students well in this math class. So, let's make excuses to succeed. I'm Mr. Over, and I approve this message.